Good morning, everybody. Brenda Hillard here at createwithbrenda.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Deerwood, Minnesota, and I'm here this morning to show you a beautiful Slimline card. Slimline cards are just kind of all the rage right now, really on trend. So let's turn down to my work surface and I will show you the project I have for today, and we'll talk about some of the stock up sale again, but it's coming to an end and it's a great time to stock up, and these cards do take a little bit more paper, so let's take a look and see what we've got. Sorry. There it goes. All right, so here's the card I'm going to be demonstrating today, and I will have all of the measurements posted down below in the description. It's that little downward arrow if you're not familiar with what that is or where that is. I will also have all the products listed and a link to my online store. So I hope you'll check that out. The other thing I want to talk to you about is subscribe. You will get notifications of all of my upcoming episodes and projects, and with the holidays right around the bend, I'm hoping to have lots of good project ideas for you. All right, so this card uses let me bring this in because I want to show you first of all. Here is the Designer Series paper sale, the Stock Up and Save. This is good only through October 31st, so a week from today, all right? And in this sale, there are 15 different Designer Series paper packs, so be sure to check them out. The paper I'm using today is actually a carryover from last year's holiday catalog, and it is called the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper. But I'm going to be using these dies, which are from the Forever Greenery suite, and it is so pretty. So let me just give you a quick look, because that paper is part of the Stock Up and Save, and here's all of the patterns for that paper. As you know, our Designer Series packs are 12 sheets of paper, double-sided, so you get two 12 by 12 sheets of each of, well, I shouldn't say that. You get 12 sheets double-sided, so you will have six patterns, double-sided makes 12. So that's a beautiful suite. Here's the other pieces that go with that. There's the Forever Fern stamp set, which if you have not used, these are beautiful. They're a distinctive stamp, and they're perfectly shaded, so once you stamp them with ink, that's all you have to do. There's no more coloring needed. They're gorgeous. And then of course the coordinating dies. So I hope you'll give those a look. This particular suite is in the annual catalog, and the sale only goes through October 31st, a week from today, so don't miss out. If you place an order with me this month using my host code, and each month I do post a new special with my host code, so be sure to check that out. November 1st is, again, right around the corner. So this month, here's the host code. You place a minimum $100 product order, you'll receive a $25 shopping spree from me. You can check my blog at Create with Brenda for details on how to cash in your shopping spree. The other thing I want to mention with this is if your order is over $149. Do not use my host code. You will be eligible then for your own Stampin' Rewards plus my $25 shopping spree. So that's a great deal. Check it out. All right, here's our project. Look at the Slimline card. I love them. Love, love, love. So is what we have today is you will need a piece of, if you're going to use the same paper, I chose Very Vanilla. You will need a piece of Very Vanilla that measures 8.5 by 7 scored at 3.5. And that's how we get our slimline or our long card. All right? You'll need a piece of the Designer Series paper, and this measures, oops, put my ruler the right way, 3 by 8. Then I used a piece of Pretty Peacock, and this measures 3.25 by 8.25, just a 1/4 inch bigger than our DSP all the way around. So we have that pretty mat. I used, and you know what, I'm gonna grab those because I want you to see them. And they're probably my favorite dies. These are the Stitch So Sweetly dies. You get all of these cute little scalloped frames along with these shaped pieces that all, like a puzzle, they all fit together and you can layer them beautifully. So I used the largest die and cut out with the Pretty Peacock this shape. And then I used the layering circle dies, and is what I like to do is I like to stamp my sentiment first and then punch, because then I can center it on my circle. Okay, I used the copper foil, and from the dies that I showed you with the with the Forever Fern, and actually the dies are called the Forever Flourishing dies. I used this die and I cut 2 of these out for each card using the copper foil. So that's all of our parts. Okay, the sentiments that I used, the happy birthday and the wishing you every happiness this special day will bring, are from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. Lots of great sentiments and really, really good fonts in this set. I've sold lots of these sets, so check that out if that's not in your sentiment repertoire. Okay, let's do our project. So as how I started this out is I took the Stampin' Seal and I just gave a run on each side of my Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to center that on the front of my card. It's easier for me to center my stuff in the landscape than it is portrait. So there's that. I'm going to do the same thing to my Designer Series paper. And just kind of center that again, and you see me doing that in that landscape mode. So there's that. This paper is so pretty, it's hard to put anything on it that covers it up. And then again, my die cut piece from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I'm going to put that right here. And I put it up a little bit towards the top, maybe like 1/3 of the way. or the top of it is at the third. There's that. And then to do my die cut pieces, I added some seal to the back of my circle. And then I just kind of added my copper pieces. Now when you do this, you just kind of have to, I don't want you to press it down, but just kind of make sure that your little spray here stays inside your card edges, and it does. So then I'm going to turn that over, and I'm just going to add some full size or regular dimensionals, and take off my backings. And that was using the take your pick tool. That is one handy little tool. If you don't have one, I'd be happy to help you get one ordered. All right, so there's that. Our card is nearly done. That's how simple this is. I'm going to bring in some of the Old Olive Pretty Peacock ribbon. This ribbon is really, really pretty, and as you can see, one side is more of the Old Olive and then the Pretty Peacock. So I'm just going to tie my bow. And as you can see on our original, I made a pretty poofy bow. I have 9 lady, girl, female birthday cards to send out this month. That's a lot. I love sending birthday cards, so I think there's nothing better than getting a birthday card in the mail, meaning somebody thought of you and thought of you even ahead of time to get it in the mail to you for your birthday. So I'm going to bring in my roll of glue dots, and I'm going to pick up just a couple glue dots here because I want to make sure my bow stays on. And I'm just going to puff up my, I love puffy bows, so I'm just going to puff up my bow a little bit, plump it up, and there's our card. All right, I had pre-stamped the sentiment on the inside, and again, that was from the Peaceful Moments die or stamps, and that set has, like I said, the most beautiful sentiments. I just love it. So let me show you this. To make a slimline envelope, you're going to need a piece of Fairy Vanilla that measures 8.5. It's just our standard cardstock. Measures 8.5 by 11. And is what you're going to do. I'm bringing in my scoring tool. We'll see how well. Oh, this is going to work just fine. So, is what I'm going to do first of all is on the length of my paper, on the 11-inch piece, I'm going to score at 2 inches. I'm sorry, 2.5 inches. Just score that. And then I'm going to move over to the 6.5 inch mark, and I'm going to score again. Then I'm going to turn my paper to the landscape mode, and I'm going to score at 1.5. And the light gray is always your scoring. And then I'm going to score again. I'm going to move it over to the 10.5 inch mark and score for the bottom of our envelope. Okay? So that's all we need to do there. And then is what we do is trim. There's been lots of this, it feels like, this week on my channel, but I'm going to cut on the score line up to the score line there. And is what we're forming here is the top flap for our envelope, okay? So snip over to the other score line and remove that piece. Same on this side. And then is what I did is I brought in this trio punch because it has the corner rounder. And as all I did was just put the corner in so I can see it and get it centered there. Whoops. Sticky fingers this morning. And corner round. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I always like to look to make sure that I've got it centered there. And then you can do just this partial punch. You guys, I'm starting to get arthritis in my fingers, and I am telling you, those punches are hard. Okay, corners rounded on the top flap. Then on the bottom, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to cut up to the score line. Only this time I'm going to miter this way. This will make sense in just a minute. And let's do the same thing here. We're going to miter first, and then we're going to cut along the score line. Perfect. All right, so do you see what's happening here? All right, so now we can fold in this side of our envelope, and I always like to use my trusty dusty bone folder. You get a really nice crease. I'm going to fold in the other side, and then I'm going to fold up the bottom. And do you see why we mitered now those corners? We mitered so that it makes a really nice flap on the outside of our envelope. So what we're going to do is, you saw how this folded over? On that top flap, I'm going to take my tear-in tape and just put a strip along. See how easy that tears off? And then again, I can use my take your pick tool, and this works really slick for just picking up that little, I always say it's like a wax paper covering, and you saw me pull that off. And then, oops, 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 and oops. I did not mean to do that. Now you see how accidents happen when you're videoing, right? Guys, what's going on here with me? There we go. All right. So then at the bottom of my envelope, I'm just going to put a little piece of tear tape. Good. And again, using my take your pick, I'll pick up the hand, my bottom flap. And then is what I do just to save up here at the top. I don't take the wax paper off yet, but this is how I seal. This is how I seal my envelope. So, there you have it. Here's the card. I hope you'll try it. They're super fun, super easy. And again, I'll list all the products down below. If this was your first time joining me, please hit the subscribe button to be notified of upcoming episodes. If you're joining me again, I thank you for following me and for taking the time to view my video. Also, be sure to leave comments. I love comments. So, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.